the forgotten giants. Being the tallest player on the court may sound like a dream come true, but for basketball centers, it often feels more like a curse than a blessing. They are seen as the anchors of their teams, responsible for defense, rebounding, and protecting the rim. Yet, behind the glory lies constant struggle, sacrifice, and pressure. The truth is, playing center can be one of the hardest and most thankless jobs in basketball. The heavy burden of expectations. Centers are expected to dominate in every single game. Coaches, fans, and teammates assume that just because they are tall, they should automatically grab every rebound, block every shot, and score at will in the post. But this pressure creates a suffocating environment where even small mistakes feel amplified. A missed rebound or a blocked shot given up is immediately blamed on the center, making it feel like there's no room for error. Always in foul trouble. One of the biggest struggles for centers is foul trouble. Because they're constantly defending the rim, they're forced into tough situations. Battling against guards driving recklessly into the paint, contesting shots, and fighting for rebounds. Even a clean play can be called a foul. This makes it nearly impossible for centers to stay aggressive throughout the game, knowing that one wrong move could send them to the bench. The bruises nobody talks about. While guards sprint up and down the floor, centers are locked in physical battles every possession. They wrestle in the paint, absorbing elbows, shoves, and body checks that would send most people flying. Centers often leave games with scratches, bruises, and sore muscles that barely get acknowledged. It's a constant grind of physical punishment, and the worst part is, it rarely shows up on the stat sheet. No flash, no glory. In modern basketball, highlights belong to flashy guards who sink three-pointers or dunk in transition. Centers, meanwhile, rarely get the spotlight. A perfect box out, a hard screen, or even a defensive rotation doesn't go viral on social media. Instead, fans only remember the dunks or the mistakes. This lack of recognition makes the center role feel invisible, even though the entire team depends on their dirty work. Carrying defensive responsibility. Every defensive breakdown somehow falls back on the center. If a guard gets beat off the dribble, it's the center's job to rotate and protect the rim. If the opponent makes a layup, fans and teammates look straight at the big man as if he's solely responsible. It's a lose-lose situation. Step up and risk fouling, or stay back and get blamed for not defending hard enough. Slow and out of place in modern basketball. In today's game, speed and spacing dominate. Guards sprint around screens, wings launch threes, and centers are often forced out of their natural habitat, the paint. They have to defend on the perimeter, switch onto smaller, faster players, and still somehow return to the rim in time. This constant mismatch makes them look slow and outdated, even though they're giving everything just to keep up. The offensive struggle. Unlike guards who can dribble, shoot, and create their own shot, centers are often dependent on teammates to feed them the ball. If the guards ignore them, they spend entire possessions setting screens and standing in the post with no reward. Even when they do get the ball, defenses collapse on them, making it nearly impossible to score without being swarmed. Feels like being trapped in a role where you're needed but rarely empowered. Conditioning for giants. Carrying a 7-foot frame isn't easy. Centers often weigh well over 250 pounds, and keeping up with the pace of the game requires extreme conditioning. While guards run lightly across the floor, centers have to drag massive frames up and down, while also battling in the paint. This constant wear and tear leads to fatigue and injuries, yet people rarely appreciate the effort it takes just to keep moving. Injuries that end careers. Centers face some of the worst injury risks in basketball. Knees, ankles, and backs take brutal punishment from years of jumping, boxing out, and battling opponents. Many centers have careers cut short because their bodies simply can't endure the constant pounding. Unlike guards, who can rely on skill even as they age, big men often lose effectiveness the moment their bodies slow down. The loneliness of the paint. Despite being surrounded by teammates, the center's world is often lonely. They spend most of their time locked in individual battles under the rim, away from the ball, away from the play.